Extreme close-up of a massive ancient tree trunk at sunset, the word CROATOAN carved deep. Wide aerial shot of an abandoned 16th century wooden village, broken houses, close-up of old colonial tools lying in dust, metal rusting, ropes snapped. Camera slowly tilts down to dusty footprints leading into a dark misty forest, wind, human silhouettes barely visible inside thick fog, slowly fading as if dissolving in. Dramatic close-up of a shocked explorer, John White, standing at the edge of the abandoned. Slow zoom on the glowing CROATOAN carving again, fog thickening around the tree, blue, dark forest view, golden light cutting through trees, dust particles floating.
Picture this. An entire American colony. 115 men, women, and children. Just ... gone. They vanished without a trace, leaving behind no bodies, no graves, and no signs of a struggle. It's as if they were ghosts. When the governor returned, all he found was an empty settlement. The houses were taken down, their belongings gone, and there was no evidence of a battle or a hasty departure. It was strangely quiet. The only clue left behind was a single, cryptic word carved into a tree. For over 400 years, this mystery has baffled historians and treasure hunters alike. What happened to the Lost Colony of Roanoke? Was it a massacre? Did they integrate with the local tribe? Or is the truth something far more bizarre? Ever heard of a mystery so deep it's remained unsolved for over 400 years? Let's travel back to 1587. A group of English settlers, not just adventurers, but entire families, crossed the vast Atlantic. Their dream, to build the very first permanent English colony in the New World. They landed on Roanoke Island, just off the coast of modern-day North Carolina. But from the moment they arrived, a sense of unease settled in. Their supplies were dangerously low, the weather was brutal, and the local native tribes were a mix of friends and foes. The colony's governor, John White, had to make a tough choice. He sailed back to England for more supplies, leaving behind his daughter, Sonny, and his brand new granddaughter, Virginia Dare, the first English child born in America. He promised to return in just a few months, but a twist of fate meant his quick trip would turn into years, and what he found upon his return would baffle historians forever. Imagine stepping off a boat onto a shore you once called home, only to find it completely empty. That's exactly what happened to John White in 1590 when he returned to the Roanoke Colony. Everything was gone. The houses, the defensive walls. Even the fort had been carefully taken down, not smashed in a fight. There were no bodies, no bones, no signs of a struggle at all. It was as if over 100 people had simply vanished into thin air. But they left behind two mysterious clues. The word CROATOAN carved into a wooden post, and the letters CRO scratched into a nearby tree. White had told the colonists that if they had to leave, they should carve their destination. If they were in danger, they should carve a Maltese cross. There was no cross. This means they left willingly. But where did they go? And why did they never return? The mystery of the Lost Colony of Roanoke continues to haunt us. When John White finally made it back to England, his timing couldn't have been worse. A massive war erupted with Spain, and every single ship was commandeered for the war effort. White pleaded. He begged for anyone to help him get back to his family in the colony, but his cries fell on deaf ears. For 3 long, agonizing years, the Roanoke colony was left completely isolated. They waited and waited. No supply ships arrived, no messages of hope, just silence. Finally, in 1590, White managed to secure a small English ship. He raced across the Atlantic, his heart pounding with a mix of hope and fear, desperate to reunite with his daughter and granddaughter. But what he found when he arrived was an eerie emptiness that has baffled historians for centuries and remains one of America's. What really happened to the Lost Colony of Roanoke? Over 100 men, women, and children vanished without a trace, leaving only one clue: the word CROATOAN carved into a post. The most accepted theory is that they joined the friendly CROATOAN tribe on Hatteras Island. They were out of supplies, with no help coming, so it makes sense. Later, explorers even reported seeing native people with gray eyes and using English tools. But other theories are much darker. Did they try to sail north to Chesapeake Bay as planned, only to get lost? Were they attacked by hostile tribes, or even the Spanish, who were at war with England? Still, with no bodies or signs of a struggle, it's unlikely. Perhaps they starved or succumbed to a disease. Or maybe, in a final act of desperation, they built a boat and tried to sail back to England, only to be swallowed by the vast Atlantic. What really happened to the Lost Colony of Roanoke? For centuries, we believed they vanished without a trace. But what if the story we know is wrong? What if they didn't disappear at all? Recent archaeological finds are rewriting history. Imagine this. Pieces of English pottery, unearthed hundreds of miles inland, far from the original settlement. Archaeologists also discovered European tools mixed right in with Native American artifacts. And near Hatteras Island, they found signs of English-style housing structures. These aren't just random clues. They paint a new, incredible picture. The evidence strongly suggests the colonists weren't lost. They were absorbed. They didn't just survive. They integrated, blending into local tribes and starting new lives in a new world. The Lost Colony wasn't lost at all. It was found. In the late 1500s, a group of English settlers landed on Roanoke Island, hoping to build a new life. 3 years later, a supply ship returned to find nothing. The entire colony of over 100 men, women, and children had vanished without a trace. No signs of a struggle, no bodies, just an abandoned settlement. The only clue left behind was a single word carved into a post: CROATOAN. What happened to them? Were they attacked? Did they succumb to disease? Or did they simply leave? For centuries, this has remained one of America's most haunting historical mysteries. But recent evidence suggests a different story. Maybe the colony didn't disappear. Maybe it simply became part of a new world. And the mystery of Roanoke lives not in ruins, but in the people who may have inherited their legacy. What do you think happened? Let me know in the comments below.